Welcome everyone. Wish you all a very happy new year. Let's start with SPY. As we see in the chart, SPY is currently trading at this ascending wedge panel. It has a higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high formation, but the range is swinging on each swing, and it could not break this 695.88 or 696 range for last 1 2 3 4 5 6 the last 1 week. For last 7 sessions could not break that level, and for last 4 sessions we have all red candles, so it may break down below this and test this support 680.5 and 675. If it goes up, we have a strong resistance as well as trend line resistance, because this trend line is pushing the price down every time, though it did not form any lower low yet. The range is narrowing down on each swing. Let's look at the weekly time frame. So on a weekly time frame, last week was a doji candle, and we can see a bearish RSI divergence, which is the price is moving upwards but the RSI is moving under downwards, which is a sign of bearish reversal. And we have a doji last week, so next week's candle is very important for SPY. Looking at monthly, it broke out of this resistance. It even capped up. But we still have 2 more weeks to go. So let's see if this closes above this resistance or if it comes and closes below. This level of 687.5 is also one of the important level based on the fib extension from the previous swing low to swing high. So we need a candle closer above. This 684.8 or 885 is the 61.8% of the fib extension from the previous swing low to swing high. The last previous 3 months candle were unable to close above that level, but for this month it gapped up from that level. If this month's candle closes above this level, then we will see 707. That is the 78.6% of the fib extension. Looking at Microsoft, as we discussed in our previous videos, Microsoft had this double top or Batman setup, which caused the price down from 549 to 459, almost $90 move from this all-time high. For now, it is near this critical support level, and it has earnings on the month end. So if the result help to hold this level 445, then it will go and fill this gap between 495 to 505. If this doesn't hold, then we have this gap from earnings in May 25. Also we have this trend line support. Looking at the larger time frame, weekly. On a weekly time frame, if you look at, so the price is coming down from this critical trend line resistance with the double top. So we may expect to get support at this previous critical resistance level to turn as a support at this time, or at this trend line resistance, at this trend line support plus this gap. On a monthly time frame, again we have a 20 EMA and this previous resistance, and this FEG all may give a support. So let's watch the price action towards and after the earning. For now, on a daily time frame, the RSI is right at 30%, like before. This 30% provide support to retrace back and retest the resistance. This may also provide support to go back and retest this fair value gap or this trend line also. Let's look at AMZN. So AMZN is getting support at this trend line so far. Here it bounced, here it bounced, here also, and it broke this critical resistance level on January 6th with a nice volume, above average volume. Now it is coming and retesting that area. So we had a evening star and follow through bearish candle. We have two doji candles at this resistance. So if we get a bullish engulfing defending this bearish candle, we may go and test this resistance, the all-time high resistance at 258. And it has earnings on month end as well. Let's look how it is on the weekly. Weekly also it broke this resistance. Earlier it was forming a head and shoulder pattern. Looks like now it invalidated the right shoulder into this candle on January 1st week. So I am expecting to get a support at this level. Netflix, after this long uptrend line breakout, and the retest of this, it moved drastically down from 110 to 88 now. Currently it is near the very critical support level. So previously for last two times at this support, it bounced nicely. We are now into that area. We are now near to that area ahead of earnings on Tuesday. So let's analyze this after the earnings. Okay, looking at Meta, as we discussed in our previous video, Meta also is coming out from a critical resistance from this trend line, and we have this trend line for the support as well. Currently it is, let's move on to daily time frame. Currently it is into this fair value gap area. Let's see how the price reacts for this fair value gap. If this doesn't provide support, then we can look for this gap and this trend line support, which is aligned to uh, 78.6% of FIB level. Last time at 61.8% FIB level, it took a support and formed FEG. So now let's see how this FEG, how the price reacts to this FEG. Looking at core wave looks interesting. Looking at to the FIB levels from the low to high, we can see a double bottom. Pattern breakout exactly at this 78.6 FIB levels. Also this downturn looks like a corrective wave to this impulsive move, and it tested this previous resistance with a double bottom pattern. Now that we have broke out of this neckline, and currently the price is at this gap as well as 200 SMA, we may expect a retrace back down to test this previous resistance or the neckline breakout. So if you see a bullish reversal candlestick pattern at this zone, which is a critical zone to watch, because it was previously providing support and turned to a resistance now. So now we can expect support. So let's look for a bullish reversal candlestick pattern at this zone. Looking at Venture Global VG. So looking at this stock on a daily time frame, it is on a downtrend. Lower low, lower high, lower low. But on a lower time frame it has a change of character and a kind of inverse head and shoulder pattern. On a lower time frame. So for this pattern already made a move to this level. So we may expect a retracement back to test this level. So if we see any bullish candlestick patterns at this level, at this zone, we may look for our buy opportunities. This chart is interesting to me on weekly and monthly time frame. So if you look at the weekly time frame, it collected liquidity below this low. The interesting thing is the RSI. So when this price moved down, the RSI is nicely moved up. That looks to me like a textbook bullish RSI divergence, and the volumes also looks nice. When the price is moving down, the volume is also moving upwards along with the RSI. And in a monthly time frame, it even look better. Yes, in the last low, we had this hammer plus bullish engulfing, and this hammer on December month, it swapped the liquidity below this low, and so far we have a nice engulfing, bullish engulfing candle. We still have 2 more weeks to go, but it looks interesting. So on a daily time frame, we can look for buy opportunities at this zone if it retraces back. I still doubt whether it will retrace back, and it may go and break this level by melting up without retracement also, but we need to wait for retracement if we want a good risk to reward ratio.